Hey, what's up, everyone? Matt Wolf here. As part of this little Multiply Authority blog, part of the goal is to really grow this into a huge authority blog. And one of the ways I intend to do that is through influencer outreach. Now, there's quite a few tools out there for influencer outreach, and I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of review and compare the various ones that are available out there. Now, a few of them that I've been looking at are contentmarketer.io, Ninja Outreach, and BuzzStream. They all kind of do very similar things. They have some subtle differences. And over a series of videos, I'd like to talk about each of these platforms and how they can really help with your influencer marketing. Okay. Now, I'm very new to all three of these platforms. So a lot of what I'm doing through creating these videos, I'm actually experiencing for the first time as I play with them. So in this video specifically, I'm going to talk about contentmarketer.io. Now, this is a platform by Sujin Patel, and what I love about this platform just right off the bat is its pure simplicity. When you log into the members area, this is what you see. It's just very, very simple. It's clean. They didn't overdo it with features or buttons or just complex stuff that you can do. So I really, really appreciate that. One of the things that I did notice was it's not quite as feature rich as some of the other platforms that are available out there. So here's the way this platform works. So to start a new project, you would scan a post. So let's say I want to try to get the contact details from someone like Pat Flynn, and I want to get his details, and I want to reach out to him, and I want to get him talking about my blog. So I would type in his blog details here, smartpassiveincome.com, and click go. It's going to do some work here, and it's going to look up some information on that site. And let's go ahead and give it a second. And you can see that pretty quickly it came up with two different people. Now, I'm not quite sure who Julian Brady is or why this person popped up as part of the Smart Passive Income blog. Must be somebody mentioned on the site or something. But you can see that Pat Flynn did pop up here. I've got his Twitter details. There's a link to his contact form and confidence level good. So there's some information here. Now I can click on his name, and if I click edit, I can add in, any additional contact details. Now you can see that it found his email address, pat@patflynninc.com. I don't know if this is, the email that he actually gets emails to or not. This is the one that this program found. It found his Twitter username, and it found a contact form so that I can pretty quickly and easily reach out to him in various places. I can send him an email to this email address. I can send him a tweet, and I can try to contact him through this contact form. And the idea being, through one of these ways, I can get in touch with him. Okay, so let's go ahead and click this Start Outreach button. And it takes us to this page where it asks us to connect a Google account so that we could email from our Google account. So let's go ahead and connect a Google account. Go ahead and allow it here. And now I can actually send emails through this content marketer program here. Let me just click through all these here. There's some instructions that you can go through quickly. And see, now I can send an email. It will send from my email address through my Gmail platform here from Matt Wolf. And then it's got some templates here for emails. So let's say I want him to promote a blog post because I mentioned him. I can use this template here that says, gave you some love on my blog post. Select this template. Click OK. So now it's going to plug in his name. It'll say, hey, Pat, it pulls in the first name here. I gave you some love on my latest blog post. Tells me to insert the link. So let's just, plug in my link here. multiplyauthority.com. Feel free to share it or shout it from the rooftops. Thanks, Matt Wolf. Right? And then, you can add some little, additional stuff here if you want. All right, so then I would click next step, and I can click the send emails. Now, here's what's cool. Let's say I found 10 different influencers. It would send this email to all 10 different influencers and replace their name there, right? So then I can do tweet. So let's connect a Twitter account. Authorize this app for Twitter here. It's going to do this little walkthrough, explain how to use these little merge fields here. And we'll go ahead and close out of this. So it's got Pat Flynn. He's got 122,000 followers. And I can actually send a tweet here that would go to Pat Flynn. And once again, there's some templates. Let's go to, let's see, have you seen this post? Select this template, click OK. Have you seen blank? Insert this title. So have you seen how to build a blog? You're in it. Here's the link if you haven't seen it. And then insert the link. So now I can click next step. And it will send this as a direct message to Pat Flynn. And if he doesn't accept the direct message, then it will fall back to a regular tweet. All right. Now I'm not actually going to send it right now, but that is how I would reach out to him through email, through tweets, and then contact form. It found his contact form here. I can, use one of the templates that I would send in a contact form. Just go ahead and select this template and then click next step. And then what it'll do is it'll allow me to open the form, and then I can paste in this message that I started to type over here, and then click mark as contacted, and then it will start to save the data on the various people that I've reached out to and keep stats on how often I've reached out to these people. All right, let's click on research contacts. Let's search for my own Twitter username here. Click continue. See what it comes up with. So it found my name and it found my Twitter. It doesn't look like it found a whole lot of details on me other than my Twitter account, which is interesting. So let's see here. If I click next to my name and click edit, okay, so it found my first name, my last name, my Twitter username, and my URL, but that's all it seemed to come up with. Didn't seem to find an email or contact form for me. And then, if you click over onto my blog here, I do have a contact form on my blog. You'd think it would, pull in the details from my contact form. Now, one little thing that I did notice when I was playing around with this earlier was I went to scan a post and I typed in my own blog. So let's just go mattwolf.net. Click go. And this was really interesting because when I did this earlier, it actually couldn't pull up the data from my blog at all. It just brought up an error message. So let's see what happens. So see, it says page took too long to load, and it says try the workaround. So it says visit your link and view source mode. So I'll visit my link and view source mode. Then it says select all the text and copy it to your clipboard. So let's just go Command A, copy it to my clipboard, jump back here, paste in the raw HTML. So now it's searching the raw HTML for data about me. And here's what I found interesting. It found a Matt Wolf, but that's not me. That's a different Matt Wolf. This is not me. So I found that interesting that it actually pulled up from mattwolf.net, my own blog, a Matt Wolf that is not me. And, the Twitter account, it found at Matt Wolf at a confidence level of good. But if you jump over to mattwolf.net, let's go ahead and view it in regular mode. You could see that there is a link to my Twitter down here in the footer. Why did it not find this Twitter account that's clearly in the code? I don't quite understand why it didn't find the proper Twitter account, which is, clearly Matt R. Wolf, not at Wolf, which is what it found before. It found Twitter handle of at Wolf, but my Twitter is at Matt R. Wolf, and it couldn't even find that in the code, which is a little concerning to me that it didn't find that data. So for the most part, what I've shown you is pretty much what Content Marketer does. That's kind of everything it does. It kind of will keep this data here as you outreach people, as you reach out to people and contact them. It'll keep data to remind you that you've contacted them. But as far as I can tell, that's pretty much the end of what Content Marketer does. Now, I love the simplicity. Again, it's real easy to use. I'm not in love with the data that it pulls up, because obviously I tried to search my own blog and it pulled up the wrong data with a confidence of good, which concerns me. If I'm trying to do some blogger outreach, is it going to pull up the right data for other blogs that I search? I don't know, because it didn't for my blog. So I find that a little concerning, but I do love the simplicity. I know this is a very new program. You can see by the link up in the top that it's still in beta. So, it's expected that there's going to be some bugs and there's going to be some stuff to work through. I did report the little bugs that I found as I've been playing with this. I did report them over to their support desk. So, as I play with this kind of stuff, I am trying to make them aware that this is happening. Another thing that I found interesting about Content Marketer is that you can't do really searches for people by a niche. So let's say I am, I'm looking for influencers in the real estate niche. I can't type in a keyword of real estate and have it find a whole bunch of influencers on Twitter and a whole bunch of blogs from real estate influencers, which I find kind of bizarre. So with this, you can scan a post where so if you find a blog that you really like and you want to get data on the person who wrote the blog, you can get some data, albeit the data isn't very accurate based on my own example, but you can get data on the creator of the blog. Or you can, if you know somebody's first name, last name, Twitter username, or website, you can pull up the data from that information as well. Let me try something else here. Let me try Bradley Will. First name Bradley, last name Will. This is my old business partner from Learn to Blog. Let's see what it brings up by searching his first and last name. Here it found him. It found the proper Twitter account. I don't believe these are his proper emails anymore. He's definitely not using these email addresses now. So it's interesting because it says confidence level good that these are proper email addresses, but I happen to know these aren't the correct email addresses for him. It didn't find a contact form for him despite the fact that he's got multiple websites online. It didn't dive deeper onto his blog to find his contact form. So it's it's definitely still very, very, very beta. You can definitely tell it's still in beta. There's still some bugs to iron out because the few influencers that I've searched to try to find contact details have popped up a little buggy for me. But it's great in its simplicity. I love that they're trying to keep it simple, keep it intuitive, but they've got some bugs to work through, and I would really like to see a feature where I can type in a niche, a keyword, and find influencers in that niche or based on that keyword and start reaching out to people through that keyword. The other platforms that I'm going to talk about in my next few videos do actually have that functionality. All right, so that's my quick overview of Content Marketer. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something. And, if you decide to use Content Marketer, tell them Matt Wolf from Multiply Authority referred you.